So first let me start with a command known as sed, okay, or we normally say seed command. Okay, so seed command again, it is seed, awk, these are the commands that are huge commands. Okay, it's not like a simple command that you will learn in just 1 or 2 days. Okay, so you will keep learning them over the time. Okay, so lot of things are there, but the important ones we are going to cover. So like we have seen earlier that we have a vi editor, correct? But what happened in the vi editor, we were manually opening the file and editing the specific content whatever we want to do using the vi editor. Okay, now sed or seed is called as streamline editor, okay, or the stream editor, where what it will be doing without opening, how you can update the files. Okay, without opening, you want to update the files, you want to make the changes in the file without even opening that file. Okay, using, so because that's why seed will be most commonly used in your shell scripts. If you want to update a particular pattern, or let's say there is something written as a pattern as, let's say, Linux, and you want to update it to capital in the file everywhere without opening that using a script, so seed would be very useful in that place. Okay, so normally with seed command, what things you can do? Okay, with seed command, what type of things you can do? You can select some text, you can go ahead and substitute your texts, then you can add lines or delete lines, and modify the file directly. Okay, now how will this work? Let's see. So let's say a simple example. Let me go to cd shell. So let's say you have this file fruits, right? You have so many specific fruits. Okay, now what you want to do, you want to see, let's say if I want to replace this banana with, let's say, some watermelon. Okay, you want to change it. So what you can do, you can use your seed command. Okay, and like if you remember in vi, what we were doing, s at all the places in the file, search for banana, shift insert, and change it to, let's say, watermelon. Okay, and this, and your fruits file. Okay, and hit enter. Yes, so what it has done, it has changed that, but what it has done, if you see right now, it has not changed the original file. Original file still will be having the banana only, but in the output you can see the all the bananas are replaced with this particular watermelon. Okay, getting? Okay, so this you can directly do. Okay, and then if you want to, let's say, save it, you can redirect it to a different file, let's say fruit1, and it will be saved there. So let's say, let me correct the spelling, water. Okay, and enter. So what it will do, whatever seed command will do, it will replace the text on the output. Okay, so it is changing on the standard output, not the original file. So but now whatever is the output, I am redirecting it to another file, that is fruit1, and enter. So now we have a file fruit1 which will have your watermelon in place of banana, correct? So you have replaced a particular content from that particular file. Got it? Now moving ahead, let's say you want to see a particular lines. Okay, let's say you want to find the line number 4 to 5 or 4 to 8. Okay, so then what you can use, again seed hyphen n number. Okay, and you can mention 5 till let's say 8 and p. Okay, and you have to mention this as fruit. Okay, so what it will do, from the fifth line it is going to start the range. Okay, and it will print the matched line. P is for printing the matched line and enter. Okay, so from 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, so it is P is for printing, and these are the line numbers. 5 and 8 are the line numbers. So in this line number it will print those particular content from those specific line numbers. Okay, now why I am using n, let's say if I try to remove n, what will happen? See what it will do, it will show you all the things. Okay, it is started showing everything because it will try to match in this particular line numbers, but even it will display the other line numbers. That's why hyphen n is used. N is actually not the numbers here, n is for quiet operation. Okay, quiet operation means hyphen n is not going to go ahead and display the other content. It will only display the content that it has been mentioned, 5 to 8. Okay, okay, now moving ahead, you can do in various ways, like any line number you can mention anything and it will display based on that. 10 to let's say 18, so you will see total 9 lines here. Okay, now there is an option of multiple selections also. This we have selected a specific set of selections. Okay, but if I want to do multiple selections, then what should I do? I should use an option as hyphen e. So what it will do, every time hyphen e will run, it will run as an expression. Okay, so it will treat it as expression where you can select 2 expressions. Okay, like I can go ahead and write here 3 to 6 p as well. Okay, so now it will compute based on 2. Hold on, hyphen e. What is missed here? Seed hyphen n hyphen e 10. Okay, the space is not there. Okay, and enter. See now, sorry, that space was not missing here, so that's why it was not able to treat this calculation. So now it will see, it will print you the lines from 10 to 18th and 3 to 6. Okay, okay, so this is the multiple selections that we have seen. Okay, then moving ahead, you can also go ahead and mention the range that earlier we used to do. Okay, so what you can do it here, like something as the sign, a specific sign. So what it is doing ahead and telling. Okay, so now this is going to show you the first number 10 is your starting line. Okay, and the second number, let's say I will say after every, not 18, after every 2 lines. Okay, so what it will do, after every 2 lines it will go ahead and see the next line. Let's say enter. So what it will do, if you see the 10th line in this file, I will open it parallelly here. Fruit1 set new. Okay, so line number 10. Okay, so it has first, what it has done, it has started from line number 10, right? What we have written the command, line number 10, right? From 10, what it will do, it will take this line. Okay, then what it will do, it will leave the second line and then go to the third line. Okay, then it will again leave the second line, then again go to the this specific line. So it will leave every second line that it will find. Got it? Okay, so it will do till the end of the file from the starting line, wherever is the starting line, 10th. Okay, so it will keep jumping and moving ahead, leaving the specific line, whatever line. If you define 3 here, so it will make a jump of 2 files, it will miss and go to the third position directly. Okay, got it? Okay, now let's say if you are going ahead and wanting to match a particular line that is starting with a particular content. Okay, so let's say I want to find the line that starts with APP. Okay, wherever the line starts with APP. Okay, so what we will do in the forward slashes, what we have to do, seed again hyphen n. Okay, and then you have to give single quote forward, and now we have to give the pattern. So I am saying starting with, so to start with you have to check with caret sign that we have seen in VI also. Okay, caret sign, and let's say I want to search with APP. Okay, then we have to give space, then we have to give forward slash P, and P is for print. Okay, so the whatever P we are using is for printing on the screen, and the fruit1, enter. Okay, so it will show all the lines that are starting with APP. Got it? Same way you do using VI also here, but only thing is you are not opening the file directory. Okay, yes, so the capital APPL is also there, that will not come here. Okay, same way you substitute, already we have seen select substitute. Okay, so substitute text, we have just earlier the first example we see where we replace the banana with the watermelon, right? So this is the substitute, what you are going ahead and substituting a particular pattern in the file. Clear? Yes, wherever the banana is there, it will be substituted with the second pattern that you have mentioned after the forward slash. Okay, that you want to replace with. Okay, now again the same thing as in VI. I told you to there was a G option, right? Global. Okay, if you remember, there was a, so when I am doing like this, what it is doing, let's say watermelon, it is displaying me, but let's say in this file, fruits file, if I am going ahead and doing this command. Okay, so see, first one is getting changed but second one is now, right? Same thing we have seen in VI, that only the first occurrence it is replacing, not the second one. In VI also it was doing the same thing. So what we did in VI, we used a option as global G to globally change that parameter. Else by default what it will do, it will, every line it will check the first occurrence and it will change that first occurrence and that's it. Okay, it will not do the changes globally. Clear? And if I hit enter here, see now it has changed wherever both the occurrences are there. Got it? Here see, it has not changed both the occurrences, only the single occurrences. The first occurrence it changed, the other one it left as it is. Okay. Now if you want to make the changes, see this banana is still in capital. If you want that, okay, I want to go ahead and check for case insensitive, so with G you can also use an option as I, that is insensitive. Okay, so then you can go ahead and enter. So now all the bananas, see there is no more banana available even in capital, that is replaced here. So earlier if you see, where was that capital banana, yeah, this one, 1 2 3 4 5 6th line, 1 2 3 4 5 6. So see, this is also changed here, whether it's written in capital or small letters. Got it? Yes, like it depends what you are trying to do, what you are trying to replace. Based on that you can go ahead and use that. Okay. Also there is an option to do the same thing without, let's say I don't want to give I, let's say I don't give, right? So that means only the banana that is there with a small starting with a small b can be changed. But let's say you want to do a specific character match, that okay, whether it's small b or capital B, doesn't matter, it should change. Other things should be same but the starting should be different. So what I can do, there is an option of square brackets where what you can do, capital B and small b. So now what it will do, the term will search either a banana starting with small b or a banana starting with capital B. Getting it? So it will do the same thing what the earlier case insensitive has done, but the only thing is here it will only check for these two entities. The other entities should be in small or lower case only. And I hit enter. See, it will make the changes the same way. Okay, it will make the changes the same way, this one, that it has changed. Okay, there is no banana pending it here. Got it? Yeah. The square bracket. So we are saying either start with the particular entity or start with the other one, whatever range you want to give. Now you can also define that okay, I want to only change from a particular line to a particular line. Okay, I don't want to change the whole file, I want only from, let's say 1 comma 10 line. I want to change only from 1 to 10 line between, if any banana is there, and hit enter. See what happened, here banana is still left, here banana is still left, but if you see upper lines were changed. So you can give the range of lines as well, in between how many you want to change. Got it? So this way you can mention the range of lines as well, what you want to change. Now let's say you want to go ahead and change the lines. Okay, you want to go ahead and change the specific spaces or remove the spaces. Okay, you want to go ahead and remove the spaces, multiple spaces into one. Let's say I have a file having let's say you have multiple spaces here. Okay, so what normally if you see the file, if let's say I just normally am substituting it, no much changes. So if you see, these are multiple spaces that are coming, right? You want that, okay, I don't want these multiple spaces, I want to remove the multiple spaces here. So what I will replace with single space. How many? The multiple space. So to display the multiple space star. Okay, so it will change your multiple spaces into a single space. Getting? And hit enter. So see what it has done actually. So wherever the specific entities are there, right? So it has changed everything. It has actually went ahead and changed everything, and what it has done, it will go ahead and use the space as the separator here. Okay, so many times when you try to do like this, right, it will do a little different. Okay, so what it has done, it has reduced that specific entities between these characters and appended space in all the characters when you put like this. Okay, so that's why I showed you this example. This happens many times. Okay, so it will totally change that. Yes. Okay, so I will let you know there is separate entity for that. Now this is the one that is different, and we have to use a specific. Okay, I am not giving -n, and now if you run it, what happened? Space star. No, this was fine. This is coming fine. I will let you know the command. I will ping you in the group. Okay. Okay, so this way you can do multiple spaces, and again the same thing. If you want, as I told you, -e option, right? If you want to use the -e option that we earlier checked, we are replacing this banana, right? We are going ahead and replacing this, so you can use the expression command -e. Same way you can do multiple changes. Let's say in place of I want in place of apple, I will use, let's say, capital apple. Okay, so what it will do, it will change multiple places. Apples also are changed and banana are anyways changed. So two different simultaneously also you can go ahead and execute. Got it? Same thing can also be done without using E. Okay, what we have done using E, right? So what you can simply do, remove E. Sorry. And what I will do it here, delete and put a semicolon in between. So that will become one expression. I will remove hyphen E option. That will become one expression, and the after semicolon it will become the other expression. Okay, so two expression it will take simultaneously. Okay, without giving hyphen E option and enter. So still it will do the same task. Got it? Yeah. Okay, so this way you can go ahead and do it. If you want to, let's say what we were doing, we are going ahead and specifically. Hello, am I audible? Okay. Okay. So now let's say if I am going ahead and I'm saving the file individually, right? I'm going ahead and saving the file individually. So in place of that, what I can do, I can directly use an option as hyphen I that will update your original file itself. Okay, that will go ahead and update your original file itself. Let's say this is my file, right? So right now what it is showing, it is not changing the original file. My original file, if you see it here, fruits still have the old content only. Okay, it still has the banana and everything. But if I want to change it, what should I do? I can simply use an option as hyphen I. As soon as you do hyphen I, it will go ahead and update your original file. So hyphen I is the option that you do last. Okay, once you are verified that okay, whatever changes you are doing are correct, then only use hyphen I. Got it? Okay, so these are the specific hyphen, and as soon as I give, it will actually update your original file. See, it has not given any output on screen. It has actually replaced your original file, updated it. Okay, so this is how you can go ahead and use that. Any doubts? Okay, so this way you can go ahead and use the seed command, okay, for replacing, finding and substituting the values in any file without opening that file. Okay, now let's say if you want to delete it, okay, let's say I want to delete a particular line. Okay, so what you have to do, simply, so let's say I want to delete a line, third line. So what you will do, 3D. Okay, so that will remove your third line and hit enter. So let me see what is that third line, had fruits. So my third line is this capital. Alright, I want to remove it. So I will write seed 3D this. So what it has done, if you see, it will not display me the third line. This apple is gone. Right, I'm not using hyphen I, so still it's only on the screen, but this will delete your third line. If I give hyphen I, it will update your original file. Correct? Same way you can give the ranges as I earlier gave for printing it. Let's say 3 to 6. So it will delete the line 3 to 6 in the output. See, it has, after 3, it has directly gone to this line. 1, 2, 3, from here it has deleted here. and directly came to this line. Clear? Okay, so this way you can actually go ahead and delete those specific lines. Yes. Hmm. Yeah, that can be done, but you have to then match the whole line. Okay, you have to match the whole line. And anyways, what you are going at and like currently doing, you are deleting it, right? Now, if you want to specifically match a line, right? So you can use again the seed command and you can delete it. Okay. So how to do it? Let me show you. So let me open it, the file where it is. Match and replace, right? You said a particular line. Okay. Yes. Okay. Okay. Only the 20 or the whole line you are saying? Okay. Okay. So you are mentioning a specific line, right? Yeah. Hold on. So we have to search actually the line, and based on that we have to do it. Okay. So it's a little typical. Let me see what are the options to. Okay, I will send you that link. It's not like directly. Okay, the direct command will not work. Those okay. It's an advanced command that you have to use. Let's say if let me see. Okay, so now when you are going ahead and changing it, okay, so directly it will not work. Okay, you can directly will not be able to change the whole line. You have to first search for the specific line number, then you have to actually replace it. Okay, so I will send you the command how to replace that particular line. Okay, try to do it and then we'll see if you are able to, or else I will explain you separately how to do that. Okay, now also with hyphen I option, right, hyphen I that we have used, right, you can take the backup of that file before making any changes. Okay, if let's say hyphen I you are using, so hyphen I, with hyphen I directly also you can take a backup. Let's say I will take a backup as doc bak of the file. Okay, so what it will do, if let's say if I run like this, where it is, okay, sorry, I have given a space. So hyphen I am saying replace that file, but before that take the backup. So if you see, it has taken a automatically backup of fruits.bak. So whatever I have given, that will be the extension to that file, and then it will replace your original file, whatever content you want to replace in the original file. Got it? Yeah. Okay. So this is how you go ahead and use your seed commands. Okay. So again, seed command, awk commands, these are very huge commands. Okay. So this you will not be able to learn in one day. You have to practice in over the time you will understand, okay, how it is actually working. Okay. Now next let's see the AWK command. Okay. Now again AWK is a scripting language itself. Okay, AWK, as I sent you the link also, it's almost like a scripting language in itself. Okay, and it is used to manipulate your data, generate reports directly. Okay, so AWK will be more helpful rather than your cut command. So I prefer to use AWK rather than my cut command. Okay, so yesterday I showed you something like df-h, right? This is specific output I showed you, correct? Now let's say I want to display only the use percentage and this name, file system name, only these two columns. Okay, so even if I use cut command, it will not be very much beneficial here. Okay, because how you will define the fields, how much separator is there? Everywhere the separator size is different, right? If you see it here, right? Separator size is different totally. So it becomes very difficult to get me the output from this. Okay, so what happens? AWK utility, or we say awk, is used for mostly your pattern searching, scanning and processing. So it will be used for various type of pattern searching, scan and match that, and then based on the matching you can go ahead and do any type of specific processing as well. Okay, so what it happens, whenever an output is sent to an awk command, it will scan that line by line, any file it will scan line by line, and then if you are checking any specific fields, it will go ahead and split each fields to an specific entity. Okay, so it will be useful for you managing the data in any specific file. So the first very basic example, let's say if you just want to print your file, so let's say what you will do, awk and single quotes print, okay, and your file name, fruits. It will just simply your print everything on your file. Whatever is there in your file, it will simply print it. Okay, so it's like it is working the same way as your cat command. Okay, so this is the by default behavior if you are printing it. Okay, now if let's say I want to print the line that is matching. Okay, so these single quotes are important here. So if you want to match a line where it is matching with peach, okay, so I will say peach and then match that pattern and print. So what it will do? It will only print me the line wherever that pattern is getting matched. Clear? Okay. Now let's say I only want to display out of this peach, right? I only want to display me the this number field. Okay, I don't want to display the peach pattern here. I just want this specific numbers. Okay, so now what happens, by default delimiter of AWK is your space or white space. Space or white space means any number of spaces you give, it doesn't matter. It will treat it as a single space only. So let's say df-h was there, right? So if I give this whole as one specific space, it will treat as one only. So it doesn't matter here there are more spaces here, less spaces are there. So it doesn't matter with AWK. Now let's say if I want, so by default the fields are defined as 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, in that range. So my peach will be the first field, 90 will be the second field. Clear? So it will be two fields here. Here only two fields are there, 1 and 2. So this will be your 1th position and this will be your second position. Clear? It doesn't start with 0. Okay, so remember it will not start. If you give 0, 0 means the whole line. Okay, so if I first do print $0, that means it will print you whole line. So 0 means your whole line. Whereas if I, let's say, I say I want to print only the second field of out of it, so what it will give? It will only give me the second field. Clear? But cut command, if you have multiple spaces, then handling is little difficult. But here it is very easy. Okay. Now same thing. Let's say in the df-h. If I show you df-h, if I want to just print, I know this is the output. I want to print my first. This is the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth. Okay. So these will be a total 6 fields are there. So it will be separated by default spaces. So this will treat 6 specific fields here, AWK. So now what I can do, df-h pipe AWK, and what I am printing here, print dollar first field and my use percentage, that is my fifth field, $5. So you can go ahead and print like this. Sorry, I have not closed the single quotes, and enter. So see, it has printed like simply like this, because by default it is not putting any space here. So you will see something like this. Clear? Now if I want to put some space in between, what I will do, double quotes, and I will give some arrow, something, anything, any string, and enter. So see, now it will give something like this. Got it? Okay. Now there are some built-in variables. Okay. So normally if you are using AWK, you want to see some line numbers using AWK. So there is a built-in variable that is called as NR, because as I told, awk is itself almost your full specific scripting. So it has variables, inbuilt, user defined, everything can be there, but we are seeing the inbuilt. So the inbuilt variable is called as NR. Okay, that is used for your number of records. Okay, so that record would be counted by the each lines. Okay, so if I do like this, correct, if I do like this, so see what it will display me. It will display line by line, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So automatically this will number it. Okay, now yes, in advanced AWK it is used in various places. For now this much is sufficient for you guys. Okay, else it would be confusing, because AWK you will see if else, for loop, everything you can use. Okay, so don't get confused based on that. Now if you want to see that, okay, I want to print my last field only. Okay, so from any specific file you just want to print the last field, because you will not know, right, how many fields are there. 1 2 3 5 10 50 fields, how you will know how many fields are there? So to print your last field every time, so what I can do, in place of 5, I don't want the 5 is the other one, I will do a variable, inbuilt variable, that is called as $nf. Okay, that will be the last field of each line, and hit enter. You see, the last will be the one that is available in there. Okay, so whatever is there in the df-h, whichever is the last field, it will display that. And see here why it is displaying on, because space it is taking as an field separator. So on is the last field in the first line. Got it? Now and R we have seen the lines, okay, but let's say you want to display the lines, let's the same thing, you want to display the lines from 2 to 3, okay, so what you will do, again inside the same quotes you will say nr equal to from 3 comma nr equal to 6. So what it will do, it will give you from 3 to 6 lines. So see, it will print you from third to sixth line only. Okay. So this is how your normal AWK works. But now let's say I have this file, right? By default it is taking the SWT. By default it is taking the separator as space, right? Or the white space. But let's say if I have to go ahead and find it using this separator, colon, right? I want to use the colon separator. So what should I do? So there is an option again. I will take the first field 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so 5 is fine. First and 5 are fine here. But I want to, I don't want from 3 to 6. Let's say I want everything. But I want that, I want the field separator as colon. So what you can give? Hyphen capital F, remember? Single quotes, colon, single quotes. Okay, so I am telling you the separator. So here we are not using df-h and we are saying etc password file. It will process the etc password file and it will use the colon as the separator, and based on that it will display you the results. Clear? And if I hit enter, so it will show me the results based on that. Getting it? So you can have like this. Okay, so it will change based on that. Okay, so AWK is basically used for all the processing that you want to generate using the command. Yes, field separator. Remember the field separator here. Okay, so hyphen capital F you have to give, not a small. Okay, so this is how your AWK is going to work. Any doubts? Yes, anywhere, like you want to read a file, you want to process, or you want to only read the file, like when you are looping, right? You want to use it. So in place of cut, mostly I use in place of cut, I use AWK. Okay, I prefer AWK mostly. So you can use that option as well. Okay. Now let's say, where was the output? One more thing, let me tell you. So I was doing like this. But if let's say I want that, okay, I don't want to give any specific string, just put a comma here. So what it will do, whatever is the by default separator, it will use the same separator here. So by default the separator is space. So it will use the space separator. Okay, and if you don't give comma and just do one this. So see, it will just print directly like this without comma. So comma is important if you want to use the default separator. Clear? Same thing in this example, if etc password, if I just put there comma, right? So it will show me the output something like this. Okay. Now, as if you remember in the cut command, I have shown you an output delimiter. Okay, output delimiter, that output should be delimited by a different pattern. Okay, or a different delimiter should be there, right? So what you can use in here inside the single quotes, use an option as output field separator. Okay, is equal to your comma. Okay, yes, hold on, output field separator. Okay, see, now the field is separated by comma here. So it will treat NR also as a field, the count, the numbering that it is doing, it will also treat it as a specific entity. So it will put a comma here in the output as well. Okay, so if you remember, you have like done from a etc password file, you have converted it to CSV. So this is how it is actually done using AWK. Got it? Okay, so this is how you use your specific AWK command. Clear? Now, if you want more details of AWK, you can go through that document. Okay, it has 11 chapters, different thing on different components. How to use if else in AWK. So it's itself a scripting language. Okay, if you don't want to go ahead with shell scripting, you can also understand AWK. Okay, so a lot of things can be done directly with AWK as well. Okay, next thing we have, last is your arrays, right? Array video you have gone through, right? Any doubt before I start? Okay, okay, no problem. So whenever you define an array, right? Whenever you go ahead and define an array, so in shell script it's quite easy. There is no range of array. Okay, that how many characters or how many entities you can define in an array. So what is an array? It's, you can understand, it is a big container. Okay, it is a big container which has small portions where you can are storing your particular values, variables, whatever you want, you can store it. And there is no limitation whether you can store a number, where you can store a string or any specific character in your array. So there is no limitation on that. You can store any type of specific entities in your array. Clear? Now what happens, how to define an array? So the simple way is simply define, let's say I will mention it, jukebox. Okay, and equal to, and in bracket just define the values that you want to store separated by space. Okay, so I will say the rock, jazz, and let's say samba. Okay, so three values I'm storing and enter. So by default these values are stored in your array automatically. Clear? Now if you want to display what is stored in my array, so what you have to do, normally in variable what we used to do, we used to put dollar, and let's say my variable name, if it was jukebox, so it was just printing me the variable. But now this is an array, so what I will do, a little bit of change, I will put the array, because array will have lot of specific entities or entries in the array at the different positions. So I will put star and it will be like this. Okay, like we define the variable. Only thing is here you will have to define a square bracket and what particular position you want to get print. Clear? And if I hit enter, it will display me the values that are stored inside my array. Got it? So the position in the array will always be 1, sorry, 0, 1, 2. Okay, so if I just print my zeroth position, so it will only print me the zeroth position. Then first position, then your second position. And on third, if you try to print, no, nothing is there, third or 33, because no value is stored in that particular index position. Clear? Now let's say if you want to store at a specific position. So if I say juke box, okay, and I want to store at a specific position itself. So I will say juke box and I will say at fifth position. Okay, I don't have anything at third. I don't have anything at fourth. I am directly storing where? At the fifth position, and I will say it as Samba. I will write Sol. Enter, and if I just run everything, see, you will see everything here, right? Because there is nothing in between, so it is not displaying you anything. But let's say if I go ahead and print anything 3, 4, but at 5 there is a entity that is there. The third and fourth position are empty right now. Clear? Hmm. No, that is coming, but that is not showing you position wise, right? Because in between third and fourth position is empty. That's why I showed you. Like this, you will see. Okay, they are all on positions, right? But you don't know which position it is there. Like, okay. So anyways, it will not show you any space in between for third and fourth. So that's why it's will be something like this. Okay. Same way, like later on also, you say, okay, I want to save at fourth. You can go ahead and save at fourth, something like, yes, Mollywood. Okay. So now, if you see fourth position, you have a value. And if I do star, see, it came before the sole position because it was fourth position now. Okay. Also, there is an option if you want to add, that is called as plus sign. It will add some value. So by default, it will add to the last. So let's say if it is adding, so what position it will add? Let's say I will add something else. Okay, enter. So now if I do star, see what it has done. It has added, what I will done. Okay, sorry, my mistake. I have added, but it has to be added at the position, so you have to mention that. Okay, so you have to mention like this. If you are doing it right, it will by default take it to your first value and append to the first value only. Clear? So if you want to add a position, so you have to give this braces like earlier how we defined. So it will add it here. So which position it will add? So it will be your sixth position. Still, if you will see, your third position would be empty somewhere in between. It is empty. Clear? Now, array can also be defined. In case you want to define, declare hyphen a, and let's say I say order box. So you can define array as like this also, and then you will start storing at different index positions. So that option is also available. So let's say I do like this, and then I will start order box 0 equal to, let's say, dinner. So it will store that value in my order box array. Right? So you can do in that way also. So both ways the array can be defined. they both are fine. And in case you want to enter like earlier what we said, right? We entered this value like this. But if you want to put some spaces or something like that, right? So what you should do, you should actually go ahead and use double quotes for each value, so that in case some space is there, something is there, that will not be treated as a separate entity. Got it? Okay. So if you are using, let's say, star or at the rate, okay. So if you are using star, or let's say jukebox was there, right? At the rate, okay. Both are showing you the same thing, right? But the difference between is there when you are trying to do a loop, okay. So the star will return the whole thing as a single line, okay, whereas at the rate will use specific values that are stored in that array. Okay, so now let me show you pi for loop and then array dot sh. Now, yes, it totally depends how you are actually processing it. So for I in echo, and let's say some array I am going and defining, so it can be anything, echo dollar order, and I will first put a star, and I will define it here, order equal to, let's say, Raj 1 6. Okay, so any type of values can be stored in the array, and save it. Okay, if you see, for is printing you the specific values here. Okay, now why like this? Because I have done echo. Let's say I will remove echo here, x. Okay, that's why I normally prefer to use echo, so you don't need to worry whether you have to give dollar star or at the rate. Okay, now in place of that, what I will use, x x. Okay, now let's run it like this. Okay, so it is printing me now when we are doing replace with at the rate. Okay, okay, so right now you will not see difference, but when you are processing it, right, you might see the difference that okay, it is taking in single line and it is not doing the whole processing at one shot. Okay, so mostly I prefer to use with echo, so that you don't need to worry whether you have to use star or at the rate. Okay, now let me show you. So it will be, for now it will be the same results. here and okay. Now see, if I have done like this, it is giving me in the same line, right? And if I do like this, that's why I don't use this way, so that I don't need to worry about this stuff. X. Now if I give at the rate, now if you see, it is printing differently. So these are the two different ways it is processing them. Got it? So when I put double quotes, right? So what it did, it first printed that output and then it displayed in the for loop. Okay, so it will first process that, because double quotes are used for interpreting that particular value what is there, and then it will start processing it. Whereas without double quotes, it was doing the same processing element by element. Got it? So this is how your array will work. So array can be used for multiple entities. Like you can read an input also in an array. So like in loops, how can you use? Let's say insert hash. I will say from 1 to 4, right? What it should do? And I will say n insert n equal to 0 something, based on what how you want to write. Okay, n equal to 0, order position 0, x o echo enter. Okay, read order 0. So in 0th position, what I will do, I will put a number as n. Okay, so it will, and this n I will not use it here. T O and it here. So n starts with 0. First what it will do, it will read at the 0th position, then it will read at the next position. So what I have to do, I have to add a counter n equal to dollar, and here I will say dollar n plus 1, and at last what I will do, print echo dollar order star. Clear? And if I save it and if I run it, right, it will ask you an order. Let's say I will give A, B, C, D. So see, at last when I print it, it will print me all the values. Okay, so you can use in read also. Okay, so array can be used same way as your variable. Only thing is you don't have to define multiple variables. Only thing you have to maintain that which array position you are working on. Okay, based on that it will start working on it. Okay, so this is how your array works in your shell scripts. Okay, any doubts? Okay, so this is how your array works. Okay, so you can like go through the video again or the other video that I told. So I will it I have explained more on to arrays, right? Only arrays. Okay. So what are the other options that you can use with array? Clear? So any other doubts you have or anything, you can ping me anytime. So I will try to explain. Okay, or anywhere you are stuck further. Okay, so mostly we have covered everything that is needed for shell scripting. Okay. Only thing is you have to write more and more. The more you will write, the more you will understand then. Okay. No, they will always be there. Okay. So they will be there. Yes, yes, they will be there. Okay. So for your email ID for which I have given the access, they will be available there for that time. Okay. Okay. Okay, fine. I hope you learned something. Okay. So I will. Hello. Okay. So it's only thing is you have to practice. Okay. So shell script is like very vast. Okay. So still like I'm working from 10 years on shell scripting, but still you will get something new every time. Okay. So it's not like everything would be covered every time. Okay, so there are a lot many commands. Every time you will see a new command is there, right? Yesterday we have seen background, this one, so many commands are there, job commands. So the commands are various and depends on what is your uses. Based on that you can use that. Okay. Someone will prefer the cut command or someone will prefer the AWK command. So it totally depends. Who is comfortable in this command, they will write in that way. Okay, so it will be totally different in different environments. Wherever you will work, it might be different. Okay, but if you know to understand, the best thing is that so whenever you write or if you are let's say fixing any script, just a quick tip. So always try to break the script into parts when you are understanding. Let's say already a script is there and you want to correct it. So first try to break that. So let's say this for loop is there, right? If you are not understanding what is happening here, so try to see what actually is doing it here, right? So what it is doing, first you have to understand, okay, there is a fruits file which it is reading, right? Then out of that fruit files, what it is doing, it is using a command grep. Now what is grep used for? Okay, so as you know, grep is for your pattern matching. So you understood, okay, so now from this it is matching something as banana, and hyphen I option means that without any case match, right? Case insensitive. So once you clear this, then you will see, okay, now what's the output of this that I'm getting, right? What's the output of this? You can run always individually. Okay, I think fruits file is okay. Banana I've replaced anyways. So it will go ahead and print based on that. Once you run that command individually, you will understand, okay, it is printing me this. Now next what I'm doing, I want to have a field F1 to get the printed. So it will pick up the first field and print based on whatever value is there in the fruits file. Okay, so you have to break the script, even if it's a big script or small script. Try to break it in parts. Then only you will be able to understand in case you are getting confused. Okay, because see, as I told, shell script is a set of action items that you are writing. So there would be not be any starting point. Okay, until unless you are having a functions defined there. Okay, apart from that, you will not see any standard sequence that is there. Everyone would be writing in a different way. Okay, so you have to see step by step what each command is doing, how it will be working, and how it will be behaving. That will help you to understand better any scripts. Okay, yeah, so that's how it will actually work. Okay, so I will wrap up the session. Any other doubts you have, you can ask, or you can still ask in group. That will be open. Like for let's say 1 month, I keep it open. So any doubts, you can ping and ask. Or in case anything you are not clear or any some new command you come across you want to know, so do let me know. I will explain. I will take one class, 30 minutes, 20 minutes, explain that. command, how it is working. Okay. Okay, so few things that you should commands you should also see. Expression command is there. Try to search how the expression command works. TR command is there. Okay, and BC command is there. That is the basic calculator command. Okay, so calculator commands are basically used when you are doing more into arithmetic operations and more of the university level projects you are doing. Okay, wherever you are doing a lot of calculations or you are creating an application to do mathematical calculations, so those places it will need. But these are again three commands that you can go through, you might come across it. Okay, so try to see if you are able to understand these three. Okay, then you will get like daily you will get new commands. Okay. Okay then, thank you for joining. Okay. Okay. Okay, thank you, bye.